Welcome, everybody, to Dead Talk Live. And today we welcome back Michael Satrazemis, executive producer and director of Fear the Walking Dead and the brand new Tales of the Walking Dead, premiering tomorrow, August 14th at 9 p.m. on AMC. Michael, thank you so much for coming back on our show. How are you doing?
Good. Got up at 4 o'clock this morning, shooting some nights, and
Oh,
but
man.
I'm loving Savannah, and loving what we're going to be able to give to everybody and on Fear this season. It's a real change of palette, and that kind of that low country, grassland, wetland thing look is really panning out.
Well, you brought up Savannah, and I wasn't going to ask this, but you brought it up. This I've been to Savannah. It's a beautiful city, right by the ocean. Different from Austin, Texas, where you guys were originally shooting. I mean, what kind of work goes into? I mean, is the audience supposed to know that the location has moved, not to Georgia, but maybe to a neighboring Louisiana or something like that?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think it's inevitable that you'll be able to see it. When you make that kind of a move that drastic. It gives you an advantage because you get a completely different color palette. You get the different landscapes. The survivors now have to struggle with a completely different environment, and then you can bring in new people. You can bring in new set pieces. It's a bit of a reinvention, which is really fun in a season 8.
Mm-hmm.
I love creating more than anything, and feeling stagnant or maintaining. This universe never has provided that. We keep reinventing all of the shows kind of every 8 episodes or every year.
Mm-hmm.
And a huge move like this in season 8 it has its advantages. I mean, at least creatively, it's really
Absolutely.
fun. It's really fun. It feels like a brand new show.
I can imagine. Now, before we get into your brand new show, Tales, which is premiering tomorrow, you were part of the Comic Con panel several weeks ago that presented, you were part of the Tales of the Walking Dead panel, and you got to reunite with a lot of old friends while presenting this brand new show to the rest of us. What was that experience like, reuniting with Andy, Norman, Denai, and then the new people from Tales of the Walking Dead? And explain to us the
Yeah.
environment you were in.
I mean, I remember this franchise, this show, whatever you want to call it, this mega enterprise back from season 1, and when we're in the dirt, and people were telling us it's not going to do anything, and we shouldn't get our hopes up high, so high, and we were immensely excited, looking into each other's eyes, going, "Ooh, there's something there. The story's there." Darabont started out with something amazing, and it was infectious, and it kind of Comic-Con this year brought that full circle for me to sit with Andy and Norman, and Melissa and Janai, and just look at each other and kind of reflect on what's happened.
12
I mean,
years later.
yeah, it's a beautiful thing, but for those of us that remember the time when we were just shooting and believing before anyone said you guys are amazing and this is awesome and this, any of that stuff. There's only a few of us left, and it was beautiful to go into Comic-Con and hang out with those guys. And
I can
Andy and
imagine.
I, Andy and I had about a 45-minute truck ride in through traffic where we just goofed around and talked about everything. I think we wrote a script about being hijacked by a chauffeur in the truck, and the chauffeur of the truck started joining in and bringing in some story stuff. But that
Did,
it's amazing. It's the epicenter of everything that we are, and we were much younger back then, and a bunch of goofballs.
since you were driving in with Andy, did they sneak him into the convention hall?
Yeah, my panel was
Before.
before,
Yeah.
and I knew. I was waiting there to hang out to watch the Walking Dead panel. This is the last one. That's a big deal,
Yeah.
and I knew that Andy and Denai were coming, and they were stuck in traffic there, And if you watch the panel, it's funny. You can see it start winding up into their arrival, and then someone goes, "What? We'll talk about that again in a minute." Which
Yeah.
is normally Gimple, and they reset, and then they do a couple other things, and then they start talking again. And that was just, they kept thinking he was about to arrive, and he didn't, and he was about to arrive, and he didn't. I mean, they arrived. I think, I mean, I literally maybe 30 seconds before they came out, I hugged them and started shooting this video of them. And, running out on stage, and then ran out into the audience and watched everyone erupt and go nuts. And, it was beautiful.
It was. And, you got to give credit where credit is due. AMC, all you guys really know how to keep a secret. You guys have become phenomenally good at keeping a secret. And the way it was just brought out, it shocked everybody. Okay, so let's get into Tales, okay? Everyone's really excited. The premiere is tomorrow. You were one of the people that was tasked to getting this production off the ground, okay? Even with the full weight and support of AMC behind you, how challenging is it to get a brand new production up and running from scratch?
It was Scott called me and asked me to talk to Channing, and Channing called me, Channing Powell, who's our showrunner, amazingly talented writer, and kind of bought me in on how different these were going to be, what the anthology was going to be. And that is where the difficulty of starting the show sits. 6 episodes in the apocalypse. You can do it. It's been well shaped. 6 very distinctly different episodes on a different timeline, in a different time zone, with completely different actors coming in and out for every single week and a half. No sets are shared, nothing. We didn't amortize anything. I mean, I think it's one set of stairs we amortized. That was it, that we shared. Otherwise, everything was new. It is immensely difficult. And that was the challenge, just trying to stay ahead of it. We had to we had to get an additional stage because we ran out of stage space, because we were trying to knock one down while we built the other one, and then set up for the other one, so that it would literally, construction would be building 3 episodes at the same time, art department. Yeah. It's just wardrobe wise, it's it's never ending, because you're bringing in the new cast, you're bringing in a new world, you're bringing in a new environment, a totally different story.
But I assume you must have been really psyched at the endless possibilities that an episodic anthology could bring to this universe.
Yeah, it's the dream. That's why it doesn't matter how hard the work is. Getting to. I directed 3 of the 6. I would have directed 6 of the 6 if it was even anywhere possible. But in a non-linear story, there's just no way I would still be alive. But I loved all of them. We started with 12 scripts and had to kind of narrow them down to 6, and like what we could budgetarily, make, and how we wanted to stretch the diversity of those 6 out. But there's 6 other episodes floating out there that I hope get made as well. And an endless supply of ideas.
You mentioned the chronology. As a director and a producer on this show, do you feel a new sense of freedom that you don't have to follow a certain time of events, a timeline of events, that every story could be at the beginning of the apocalypse, 10 years ahead, 30 years? There's no, linear, chronicle timeline here.
It does feel fresh. It just feels fresh because you have a little movie.
Mm-hmm.
They're not just an episode. We have jumped further. We have an episode that's further ahead than any of the shows have ever gone, which, it can open the door to stretching the lore.
Yeah.
To expanding things. And it gives you that kind of opportunity. I mean, we did a dark comedy. It's a pretty dark comedy, and that was very new. And, I had to grab that one for myself. And I'm excited about it being released. I felt super uncomfortable during the whole shooting. I had to remind myself that you should feel uncomfortable. If you feel comfortable, then you're just making what, the apocalypse, this is going to be. I mean, it's still rooted on emotion and,
yeah.
and it, but it is dark comedy. It's got some
Oh,
got some
there's a little
it's
bit of
got
it.
some laughs in it. We played with it.
There's a lot of different things in there. AMC has been kind enough to share the first 4 episodes, and every episode, it's a whole different feeling and vibe. Now, the premiere tomorrow, it's with Terry Crews and Olivia Munn, who have this amazing chemistry in the series premiere. You produced tomorrow's episode. When you were producing it and you were watching these two veteran talented performers. What were your thoughts on what they brought to that premiere episode that everyone's going to see
But
tomorrow?
yeah, I just look. Ron Underwood did an amazing job directing that episode. When I met Terry Crews, the first thing you get from him is what a fan he is of your work. He spent 30 minutes talking about what we were doing on the Walking Dead and how he's been dying to be a part of this for forever. Olivia brings this bright light and a work ethic, and to watch them bounce around together, it was a joy. It felt experimental with, we're going to bring in talented people and things, and or like, we're going to bring in more famous people. It felt like maybe that was going to be experimental, it didn't turn out that way at all.
No.
You're just bringing in people that are truly fans, that just get to have that Walking Dead experience, get to have that one episode that is like a beginning to a finish, a little film, and that became very exciting. It's just watching people come in and being pumped to play these
Exactly.
roles and to be in the apocalypse, and I can't tell you. I mean, Poppy Lou, when I went down to visit that set, is one of the directors I didn't, one of the ones I didn't direct, and I went down there to visit, and I saw her jump up into the air. It was pouring rain, all mud everywhere. Jump up into the air and flatten out and hit the mud, and then roll around in the mud, and then spring up, and all I could see was her teeth. Smiling, she was just covered in mud. And I went over and I'm like, "So nice to meet you." And she's like, "I hope one day you get to meet me when I'm clean, because I'm not always this dirty, but I'm having a blast, and that's infectious, like
Yeah,
that kind of atmosphere. And I think, that's what's unique about this kind of, anthological storytelling is you can really get some people that are pumped to spend 10, 12 days with you,
and become
going,
a
being
part of
tortured,
this
you know?
this legacy. Uh,
Yeah.
Episode 2 is your episode, the one you directed. I believe it's called Deja Vu. You mentioned comfort level a couple of minutes ago. That episode, Deja Vu, is an episode unlike any kind of episode we have seen in this world of The Walking Dead. It is really a bizarre story, but yet told in such an interesting way. It happens at the beginning of the apocalypse. Did that push you out of your comfort zone as a director, doing this show for 12 years, directing for over 8? Did Deja Vu help push you out of your comfort zone a little bit?
Yeah, I took that one because it made me feel uncomfortable, because it felt like it was going to be a challenge, and I like to I like scaring myself a little bit. So I try to take episodes that I think are very high risk, high reward, and that I could ruin, and I feel like it just kind of it forces me to work harder. That one, it was way outside of the box, but like, why wouldn't I want to do that then?
Yeah.
It is really, really, really out there, and it did make me feel uncomfortable, and I really wanted to feel uncomfortable. And then having Parker Posey and Jillian Bell. I mean,
They were great.
it's a reward, and being able to bounce around, even laughing in the apocalypse. It's, for Christ's sake, I feel like it would happen a lot. You'd try. I'd be running around the apocalypse trying to be a comedian. I'd try to make people laugh. So,
Absolutely. I mean, I gotta, you mentioned Parker Posey and Jillian Bell. They were the two main characters in Deja Vu, and they were just absolutely great in embracing the roles. Uh, Having to welcome in so many new actors, characters into this world over the years, um, you mentioned the energy being infectious and contagious with everyone. Do they just, when new people come in, even for Tales being for one episode, do they do they feel embraced by the family right away? Do they feel a part of the universe right away, or they're a little bit nervous?
I mean, I don't know if they're nervous or not. I mean, we try to talk to everybody when we're casting them and try to have a relationship with these people. And I'm pretty honest. I mean, I don't say it's going to be easy or
Yeah.
fun. I say it's going to be extremely rewarding. It's half of the apocalypse is a bit method. It's people are really running through the mud, falling, getting tackled by walkers. Charging through the water. Even the action scenes are rough, and they're soaking wet. And I mean, the environment is pretty much always the environment. There's no way of making a gross, dirty swamp out of roses.
No,
So
that's true. That's true. So
yeah,
let's.
so we got to build everybody up into it. But I find that everyone is pumped. They're ready. I feel like we found a cast of people that were ready to charge. I mean, I had the one I had with Jesse T. Usher and Luan and Beth Davids. That it was like all nights in firelight, and we had a huge cast, and it was cold. It was the middle of winter. It was freezing, and those guys were pumped every single night, just charging with So it's kind of a medieval
Yeah.
style story, a little bit mob mentality thing. But boy, they were pumped up like a mob. I would be screaming cut sometimes, and they were still just
They
going
kept
so
going.
loud. Yeah, it was amazing. I mean, and then for me, that pushes me. So it's I think if you get lucky and you bring in the right people, you can do something special.
Absolutely. Let's talk about fear in the time that we have left. Season seven wrapped and ended several months ago. When you learned the outline for season seven and you found out that Strand Coleman Domingo is going to be returning to his old ways again, what were your initial feelings on that whole story for season
But I
seven?
was I, I was excited. It's nice. You know what I mean? When he turns it on, when he goes bad guy, he turns it on when he goes strong handed, and I always liked that about his character. He was just shifty. He was going to just take care of himself, but to do it in a large scale, where he's building a community and walling it in and basing a little bit on the revenge for everybody else that never believed in him.
Yeah.
But it's a sweet spot, and Coleman plays it so well.
Jenna Elfman was our guest, and I asked her the same question, and she said between takes, he was just like a boy in a candy store. He was just having so much fun with it. Season seven revealed Strand's biggest vulnerability, and that vulnerability was Alicia. Okay, how critical was that father-daughter relationship with his character arc in that season seven in regarding Alicia? Uh, do you think she was his downfall and the downfall of the tower?
I don't. I mean, I think he was going to fall on his own at some point in time. I mean, but I think that their bond together, their need for each other and for each other to be okay is so important. That does drive a lot of their decisions. Um, I don't know if Strand could have kept that thing together, even
What
if he would have brought Alicia in. So
as you were getting the scripts throughout that 16 episode season, did you at all wonder was Coleman going to make it to season 8? Because did you see another redemption arc left for him?
well, you do think about whether it's going to happen or not. I mean, I am a little bit privy
Yeah.
to stories even ahead of them being written. So, but you see things building in certain seasons where you're like, it feels like that's what it's going to. I mean, we have a way, or not a pattern, but a way of setting people up to go that honors them.
Mm-hmm.
So anytime you start building you wonder anytime the writers in any of the shows start building, you wonder if maybe they're going to start going, if maybe they're going to go, because
Yeah,
it's a tribute. So that you build them up, you build their story up, and send them out,
and see what happens.
flying. Yeah,
Now,
yeah.
we lost Alicia. She's not dead, which is very smart of the writers, but she's off the show for now. But the door is open. The door is open. Like Madison, Kim Dickens returned in
Yep.
the final episode. Uh, so, are you nervous with Alicia now not being on the show? How fans are going to react? Or you think everyone else is going to pick up and fill the void? What are your thoughts with Alicia now gone?
Well, I think we have a lot of new story and a brand new environment. For me personally, not having Alicia around, she's my same. We have a lot of similarities, just as personality traits and things. So I love her. It was amazing to go through the prep with her, have her shadow me, and get into directing, and she's a very special person who's going to have an amazing career.
Oh, yeah.
So me personally, I'm going to miss him, but I spent my last decade, as like losing my friends,
Yeah.
and then realizing haven't lost any of my friends. You still talk to them and you see them, and things are okay. So, but she could come back.
Exactly. We don't know. We don't know. It's really no doubt. 2023 is going to be a crucial year for this entire franchise. The main series is coming to an end. It only has 8 episodes left. Fear is going to continue. Tales is starting tomorrow. We've got more spin offs coming down the pipe. Going into 2023, what are your thoughts and feelings with that anchor being the main show ending this fall?
Well, I mean, a show can't go on forever. I mean, The Walking Dead is such a special show. It's okay that it ends. I mean, it's
Yeah.
just not. It is special. It won't. Another season doesn't make it more special. I love that it's breathing life. These split offs and all these little series are allowing stories to still be told, and
Mhm.
I'm very excited about Tales. The anthology is, it's just really it's great, and Channing and Scott, have some really wicked ideas to play around with the apocalypse, to kind of romanticize it, to have fun with it,
Yeah.
and I think that's a it should, for me at least, being nostalgic about the end of The Walking Dead. It feels like I'm still doing a tribute to it by doing Tales, because I'm playing around with it. I'm still having fun with it, and I mean, it's such a huge piece of everything and who I am. So I'm excited, but like you say, it it is a very big year for the franchise.
Yeah.
We'll see what all happens, and it'll be up to the fans as always.
Absolutely. Well, we're out of time. I just want to have one final question before we go. I'm assuming there was some kind of wrap party for the main show when it ended in Sonoya, Georgia. Were you able to go or attend the celebration?
Yeah, I was shooting Tales in Atlanta, so I got to go and hang out, and it was literally they invited everybody from I think the last decade. So even people that did 7 seasons and didn't do, I mean,
Yeah.
because they're still such a huge part of the family. So it was, I mean, it was about 3 hours. I think I took 3 steps, and then the next person 3 steps for 3 hours, but it was beautiful. And I was nervous. I almost didn't go to the wrap party because I was worried about the end. Like, I'm
Yeah.
bad at goodbyes. I'm really good at hellos.
Yeah.
But when I got there, I hadn't seen so many people for so long. It wasn't goodbye; it was all hello. So
Yeah.
it kind of, it was fun to hang out. But Comic Con felt more of a resolve, more of an end
Yeah.
to it
It's never an end. I
even
mean,
than the wrap party.
it sounds all the people you've met over the. I mean, they've become friends, and it's never goodbye. You guys may probably get to work together again. It's just new
Oh, we
beginnings.
will.
Yeah, it's new
Yeah.
beginnings. I want to thank our guest, Michael Satrazemis. Again, the show is called Tales of the Walking Dead. It is premiering tomorrow night on AMC. If you are a subscriber to AMC Plus Episode 1 is now available on AMC Plus. Check it out. If you don't have AMC Plus, it's premiering on AMC tomorrow, August 14th at 9 p.m. Again, a big thanks to director, executive producer, the person who's been with the Walking Dead universe since day one. Started out as I'm gonna say it again. Started out as a camera operator, became a director of photography, became a director. Now he's an executive producer on 2 of the spin-off shows. I mean, congratulations, Michael. You're great, and you're a great friend. Thank you so much. Do you have any final thoughts you want to share before we go?
I mean, I'm living my dream, and I hope it continues. I am very excited about Tales. Please watch it. It's
Yes.
yeah, I think it's fantastic. I really
Yes.
do.
Please watch it. Every episode is going to be something different, and it's going to surprise you. Again,
Yeah.
thank you to our guest, Michael Satrazemis. I want to thank our audience, those of you who are tuning in live and those who will be tuning in later on. Till next time, on behalf of Michael and myself, stay safe and always stay walking. Bye, everybody.
Thanks, Viz.